Hi, everybody. I'm here to show you today the activity that I would like you to complete. I hope everybody's MCAS went amazing this morning. So first things first, I just wanted to do a quick recap of types of angles. We worked on this yesterday, so today's activity is just an extension of what we did yesterday. So on the screen here, we have our 4 types of angles. Yes, there are 2 more, but we don't need to worry about reflex and the complementary angles at the end here. That is not something that we have to worry about. I'm only looking at acute, right, obtuse, and straight. Those are the 4 angles that we're focused on today. So here's quick reminders for you. An acute angle is an angle that is less than 90 degrees. That is less than this right angle. A right angle is an angle that makes a perfect corner, a perfect square in the corner, straight up, straight out, and it is a 90-degree angle. An obtuse angle, on the other hand, is anything larger than a right angle up to 179 degrees, because we know, we talked about yesterday, that a straight angle, as you can see down there, is a straight line that measures to be 180 degrees. So you figure 2 right angles, 90 plus 90, would make that perfect straight line. So the reason why I'm taking a moment to go over this is today's activity is going to be around the types of angles: acute, right, obtuse, and straight. So let's take a look at today's activity. We're going to do a name activity today, an angle name activity. I'm going to start with my name here. So all of you are going to have access to a Jamboard. I am asking that once you click on the link for the Jamboard that you have to, it's going to force you to make a copy. Once you make a copy, then I want you to come up here to this share button, and I want to make sure you share it back to me, please. All right, so I can take a look at what you did. So please share it back to me. Now, this is my copy, so that's why just my first name is here. When you open up yours, you're going to see the whole entire class in one spot. So if I click through here, here's a bunch of everybody's names. So you're going to have to find your name, and then that would be the slide that you work on. Okay? So let me come back to mine. Now, this is how this activity works. I'm looking at the letters of my first name here, and I see tons of angles going on, right? I can see tons of angles here. So what I want to be doing is looking for which types of angles do I notice. So first thing, I'm just going to start with the letter K. Now, there's a couple ways that you could do this today. You could use over here the text tool, and you could type. So I could type words in here like acute, obtuse if I wanted to. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to color code my angles just to make my life easy. So watch, this is what I mean by that. So up here, I'm going to type the words. So I'm going to type right angle. Then I'm going to kind of come down a little bit, enter, enter. And then I'm going to type acute angle. And then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to make another text box for us over here because I'm going to be making a little key. I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. Obtuse angle and straight angle. And I'm going to kind of make this box a little bigger. There we go. Now I'm going to give each one of these a different color. And I think I'm actually going to use the marker for this one. So let's see. I'm going to do right angle is going to be blue. So anything, that's probably, I need something a little bit thicker than that. Let's do the highlighter. So anything blue, there we go. We'll use the highlighter tool, is going to be considered a right angle. Now we'll go from there. Anything green that I highlight green is considered an acute angle. Anything in this like yellowy, orangey color is going to be obtuse. And obviously what's left is red. And those are going to be my straight angles. So notice I made a little key up here at the top. Right angles are blue, acutes are green, obtuses are yellow, and straight is red. So now I'm going to come to the first letter of my first name. And right away, I'm looking at the line right here of the letter K. And I notice all going down the side right here, we have a straight angle. So notice I went through and I'm just kind of highlighting. It's okay if it's like kind of messy. I'm just trying to mark that this is a straight angle. So now when I look at this, I can go, oh, okay, so that's a straight angle because it's shaded red. Now I'm looking at the other angles of the letter K. Like I'm looking at this top right in here. And then I'm also looking at the bottom right in here. And I can clearly see those are pretty small angles in there. They're not wide, big angles. They're kind of small. So those would be acute and another acute angle. So what color was acute? It was green. So let me come back and pick my green. And then watch what I do. I'm just going to take my green and I'm going to highlight in here. There's an acute angle. And I'm going to highlight in here. There's another acute angle. So I have a straight angle and two acute angles just in the first letter of my first name. I haven't even done the rest of the letters yet. So the one that I'm looking at right now, I'm going to come back to the black right here, is right in here. I'm looking at this angle. Now I'm noticing that if I drew right here a square in the corner, look, that's not acute. That's not obtuse. Look what it creates right in the corner. It creates a perfect square. So which of those angles was like that? A right angle. So this part of the K is actually, oops, I forgot to turn my highlighter back on, sorry. This part of the angle is actually, or this angle is actually a right angle. It doesn't look like it. If I kind of turn my head, I can see, yeah, it's definitely a right angle. So the first letter of my first name is done. I had a straight angle, two acute, and a right angle that all make up the letter K. Now let's look at the letter R. The letter R is tricky here because if I look in here, this is not a perfect angle because notice it has this little line that kind of comes across. So I'm actually going to skip this. But I am going to look right in here. I know this curves around, but if I extended this line, and grab the black here, and I'm just going to draw a line coming out. Oops, not a perfectly straight line, so that probably wasn't a great example. Let's see here. See if it lets me. Didn't know if it would have let me draw a straight line here. Wish there was a straight line tool, but that's all right. So I'm just going to put this line coming out so you can kind of see it's not perfect, but if I make a line going straight out here, I kind of have a little bit of an acute angle, even though, like I said, it does round here, which we normally wouldn't look at, but I am kind of looking in here and I'm saying that's a definite acute angle. So I'm actually going to shade this green right here. I'm actually going to kind of come in. Let me open up that highlighter again. And I'm going to make this an acute angle. My letter I, well, that's an easy one. That's just a straight angle. Let me grab my red and I'm just going to kind of just trace it down the side like this. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit messy. As you can see, I don't have a steady hand. I have two I's in my name, so I'm just going to come over here and might as well do this one while I'm at it. So I'll just kind of color that a little bit red so I know those are both straight angles. I'm going to skip the S. The S doesn't have any angles, so I'm going to skip it. And I'm going to come over to the T. Oh, the T is simple. Look what I have on the T over here. I have a little square on this side and a square on this side. What do we call those angles? We call them right angles. So let me grab my blue. And I don't have to go all the way down the T. I'm just going to kind of do just part of it just to show that those are right angles. I technically also have a straight angle. If you look at the top of the T right here, there's another straight angle. It's a straight line. So I could do that also. And my last letter is the letter N. So yeah, I technically have a straight line here. So if I wanted to, I could kind of do this. Here's a straight. Here's another straight. right? Kind of on the outsides. And now I'm looking inside and I can see again that I have more acute angles. So I'm just going to shade this one green for acute because that's my colors. And this, oops, sorry about that. I'm going to click the back arrow. All you got to do is click the back arrow and you can just redo it. Boom and boom. So now, you know what? I think I'm going to come back over here. Even though this R, this part of the R isn't perfect, I can definitely tell that this is still an acute style angle. So in other words, if it kind of came down like this instead, like if it kind of went like this here, I could clearly see that I have another acute kind of angle going on right in there. So I'm going to mark that one too. Notice I left the S alone because there are no angles in an S. It's curved. They're curved lines. There's no perfect right tight corners like that with little sharp edges on the ends. So what you're going to be doing today is the same thing you see me do. You're going to go into your activity. You are going to find your name and you're going to look for some angles. And you can up here, you can use the tool and you can actually put in, right angle, this is the color. Or my friends, I'm going to come back to mine for a moment. If it was something else you wanted to do, feel free if you want to use the typing tool and you could simply type in acute. You can actually tilt these little text boxes. So if you did want to go through and label them like I am doing right now, text box, click, type, and then this corner right here where that little arrow is, you can actually turn and then you can just move it and fit it wherever you would like to. So now I can go through even and label, if I wanted to, those angles. So have some fun with this today, my friends. Label them, color code them, whatever it is you need to do. Don't forget to share it with me, please. So as soon as you open this up, hit that share button and share it back with me. And I look forward to seeing what angles you find in your name. Have a blast, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow.